Things have been anything but normal this past year. So how do we help our kids transition back to school and a somewhat normal life? Here with his always helpful advice, we welcome back parenting expert Yshai Boussi. Hi, Yshai.
Hi, Helen.
So let's talk about what kids can expect, because really, initially you talk about we should all expect some regression, because we've all regressed. Kids, parents, all of us, we really haven't moved forward. So tell me, what can parents expect and hope for with their kids?
Yeah, I think so. It's been more than a year now. We have been holding it together, pushing through, soldiering on. In so many ways, all of us, and particularly our kids and even particularly older kids have been really sucking it up. And what we can forget is that stress is cumulative. And so there has been this gradual buildup for so many of us, and certainly our kids. And so as things start to loosen up a little bit, as there are some glimpses of normal life starting to recur, some of that stress and intensity may start to show up in terms of behavior. So that would be one reason why there might be more regression. And another reason to expect more regression is there are more decisions to be made.
Yeah. We're
back to having to deal with uncertainty and complexity. I got to get up for school today. I can sleep in today. We had so much, as hard as it was very simple before our lives, and they're getting more complicated again. And that can be hard, especially for certain types of kids.
I've got to believe that parents really need to understand their stress too and manage their own stress.
That goes right into it. That's right. As parents, we're going through a lot too. And while dads do so many important things and are really important, there are a lot of single dads who are carrying a lot of the weight. The reality is that the majority of the time, this added stress falls on moms. What is coming up now is back to, for a lot of parents, more decision making, more scheduling, more planning, more pickups and drop-offs. All that stuff that fell by the wayside is starting to show up again. And that will disproportionately fall on moms a lot of the time. So managing your stress and anxiety, because when we lose it with our kids, it's not like we didn't know we shouldn't yell at them or, lose our cool. But when we're overtaxed and we're not taking care of ourselves, that does happen. So self-care, creating boundaries to be like, I need to go see my friends. I need to go for a walk. That is a priority. It's going to be really important as well.
You also say to prioritize the social and emotional skills for your kids.
Yeah, because we are understandably concerned about or a lot of us might be concerned about our kids falling behind academically.
But everyone's falling behind, right? Everyone's behind, so we're all in the same spot.
Yeah, we are. We all are in the same spot in some ways or another, some more than others. There is a range there. But I'll tell you, in all my years of doing this, almost every time kids who are struggling academically, they're failing or they're underachieving, more often than not, it's the social emotional skills that they're lagging. Oh. They're overwhelmed. They're very anxious. They're procrastinating because of that. They're avoiding. They're having a hard time focusing. It's not their intelligence that's the issue, or they don't have a good enough teacher, or there's a problem with the school. It's managing it. So in the coming months, this spring and summer, we are going to, the more we can prioritize helping our kids work on flexibility, for example, on managing their anxiety and stress, on dealing with disappointment, because things are going to look very different. And so being able to cope with that uncertainty is going to be a skill that will really carry over and actually help them do better academically in the fall. So let's really focus on the emotional skills, naming feelings. I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm disappointed. I'm feeling socially anxious right now and afraid to start talking to people again, or whatever it might be.
You say to listen and learn from each other.
So I think this is a big thing, because we have been in uncharted territory. I'm in this with everyone else, right? Like, how can I be an expert when I don't really know? I'm in this too. I don't know how this is going to look. So for me to go in and say, this is how it's going to be with my kids, I need the parents who can have a collaborative relationship with their kids, meaning, yes, I'm in charge, I have the final say, sure. But to the extent that we can work together, I don't have all the answers. I want to listen to you. What do you think? Sometimes our kids have a good point and have added perspective that can improve our decision making. When the ones who work together with their kids in these coming months are going to be the most successful and the happiest as families.
You say to practice front loading. What does that mean?
So front loading is the process of getting ahead of a anticipated problem. So, for example, a lot of kids, there are certain kids who have been quite comfortable being home all day and doing homeschooling, and they're not eager at all to go to school in person. So those kids, not only are they not eager, they might actually really not want to. And there might be some fears and anxieties about doing that. So front loading means let's get ahead of the problem. So let's talk about your worries, your concerns. What are you not going to like about it? And plan for that. Let's do some problem solving and get ahead of a problem. The more we can do that, it's going to set kids up for success. We can do that for ourselves as well. I'm not going to be back in the office for a while, but when I finally do, I'm going to have to really do some thinking ahead of, I'm not going to be able to wear sweats to work anymore. I'm going to have to wear shoes. I'm going to have to do some front loading to get ahead of that when it's time.
Well, you're not the only one. So, all right. Thank you so much, Yshai. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.